Hello, Annika and Saba. Here's David. You asked about this Peacemaker program, if you could use it, and I realized I should give you a little lesson on what to do. So I'm going to go through everything, and we'll see how it goes. I hope you're both doing well. So I'm just doing this kind of improvised, so here we go. I'll give you this address. It's peacemaker-dk.herokuapp.com. It's up here, but I'll put it in an email to you. And when you go there the first time, it might take a few seconds for everything to show up because the whole thing has to start up. So the first time you go there for the day, it'll start up slowly, but then as you work, it should work just fine and quickly. So the first thing you want to do is log in. And you can log in with your names, and the password is also your name. So you can type Saba, and in the password you type Saba again with a big S and capital S and then small letters. Click on the login button. I say now, not now. Over here it says logged in successfully. So now you're in the system. So what I would call what you're doing, I would call it a project. So your whole festival, like I would say, let's use the example of Biarteka. Biarteka I would call a project. And so how are we going to put that evening together and have all the different pieces in their own parts of the village played at their own time? So we're going to show you how I do that, or how I would do that, and hopefully this is what you guys want and need. So if you look at this projects thing, you can see list project. So we're going to click on that. So I already made one up. We call it fake Biarteka. If you want to create a new one, you click here, and let's just see how that works. So you give it a new name, and let's just call it real Biarteka. Type that in there. A short name, just call it BE, whatever you want. Okay, they want to call it Biarteka. And then you can pick all these people and say they belong in it. And I'll show you how to add these people. But let's say for now you've got this bunch here. So I put everybody in. The usual crew, you know these people. It could be many, many more. And you say save. So now you've got the one fake Biarteka, and now there's the real Biarteka, and this is a little gray box here that shows everything. It shows who's in it, and the important thing now here, it says assemblages. It says no assemblages yet. Assemblage is how we're going to work with the graph and the timeline to put everything together in the evening. So we're going to create a new one of those. I couldn't think of a better word for the assemblage. Let's just call it like Friday night. Let's just call it Friday here. And so, it says the evening is 1 hour long, but normally Biarteka is maybe 2 hours long. How much time before the show, how much time after show, we'll look at that later. But let's see the start time. We say it starts at 8 o'clock in the evening. And we'll click on this thing called check for cast conflicts between blocks. I'll show you why. And the rest you can leave it the way it is. And you say create. Now when we look down into real Biarteka, we see that this is a new one called Friday. So you get what happened. I created a new assemblage, and here's the list of the assemblage. There's only one here, and we're not going to edit it or destroy it. It's pretty obvious what that means. If you edit, it means you can change its name or do a few things to it, but now we're going to use it. So we click on use, and you see this timeline here. Now the way I usually do this is say that each one of these tracks here is a location in the village. So we call it what do we call it? I clicked on the edit button, and let's just call it Pila, right? And we just update that. Now it's called Pila, and we'll pick up this one and we'll call it the bridge. Okay. We'll call it the Exazilo. Got what I'm doing here? You just click on the edit button on these tracks, and each one of them you can give it the name you want. Now, what are the pieces? Okay, so each of the people working in the festival made up a piece. So let's do that over here. Now it's called add block to list, and that's not the most obvious thing to call it. But what it's going to do is create something that'll represent a piece. So let's just do one, add block to list. When you click on it, this comes out. And so let's say Carluccio has a piece and it's called Lost in a Town. Okay, I don't know. Don't worry about what type it is. It doesn't matter so much. Don't worry too much about these. But the duration is interesting. So how long is the piece? Okay, let's say it's 20 minutes. 23 minutes. And it has Carluccio in it, and it has Piero in it, and it has David in it, and Cora's in it, and Grazia's in it. Alright, something like that. So we'll create it. We'll say yes. So there it is. On the right side over here, this little thing called Lost in the Town. Let's do another one right away. Let's see, David's got one called Monkey. And that's right, it's called Monkey. Same thing, and it's 12 minutes long, and it has David and Ed. And we create that one, and we'll make one more where it's called Porto. It's about Porto. Okay, and it's got everyone in it. Click on all these things for the names. You'll add your own. I'll get to how to do that later. Here we are, and finally, oops, there's Gotcha and Maggie. I don't know who Maggie is, and Saba, and Carluccio's in there, and create it. I forgot to see how long Porto was, so let's look in the edit again. Porto is 0 hours and 18 minutes, okay? So we've got these things. So we know that Porto, okay, so up here you've got the time. So, you know, this is from the beginning of the piece starts at, 0 hour, and these are minutes, 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes. It moves across here. So we put Porto in here. I'm just going to say it starts, it's the first thing in the evening, and it happens on the bridge. I guess it should have been called Ponte, but here it is on the bridge, and you can see that it now. We can make this disappear for a second. It lasts 18 minutes long. So, okay, I made that thing disappear. What do I do if I want to put the other piece in? Well, it's up here. I call it Show Block List Panel. So there it is. It comes back. You can hide it, or you can show it, whatever you want. Now, we know that Monkey is going to happen in the pila, and it might happen at the same time. But here's the thing. Right, since this one has everybody in it, and Monkey has a few people in it too, you see that David and Ed can't be in two places at the same time. So obviously, it just doesn't work. That's why it's red around the outside of both of them, because David and Ed are having a conflict. They can't do it. So you slide it over by 2 minutes, and now I have 2 minutes to end one and run over to the other, and the red thing goes away. And we can show this thing again, and then you can put Lost in the Town at the Exilio. Okay, this is all not the way it would really happen, but this could perhaps happen at the same time. See who's got the problem here. Oh, well, David's in this one. So this is only because I made a bad example. I'm conflicted everywhere. But okay, let's see how. Actually, I shouldn't have been in this piece. I said, Carluccio, I just can't do your piece. So let's go back to the show this. And so this thing Lost in the Town. Sorry, I can't do it. Maybe someone else can do it. So we'll edit it. And we say, oh, I got to take David out, but Saba is happy to do it instead of